Hi everyone, this is Adrian.
And I'm Carrie.
For this episode, we are going to talk about Continuum by Tumi. This fragrance right here, which is perfect for fall because it smells like a brown fragrance. And to me, a brown fragrance reminds me of like leather and honey, which this fragrance I think has because it smells sweet and it's light for a leather fragrance, so it's not too sharp on your nose, and also it has some spices to it, which I like for fall. What do you think?
Yeah, this is definitely what I would think of as a fall fragrance. If it fits anywhere specifically, it's in kind of fall weather. Not something that you would want to wear in warm weather, like 80 degrees or something. It would kind of make the sweeter scents and stuff and the spicier scents come out a little bit too strong. And I think that for really colder weather, it just isn't going to get noticed that much. But for fall weather, it's really great.
Yes. And what does it stand for? Like Continuum. Why did you call it Continuum?
So if you see on here, all the Continuum fragrances have a time zone written or a time stamp written on it in GMT, which is Greenwich Mean Time. Greenwich Mean Time is the time as measured from the Royal Observatory in Greenwich, England. So what that really is kind of about is aviation and maritime, in other words, sea vessels, use Greenwich Mean Time to quote whatever time it is, because that's always in reference to one place. And then you can move that over to whatever time zone you're in. But it makes it easier when you're in like aviation or boats, which pass through several time zones, possibly in the same day, to be able to keep time straight. What this kind of refers to is basically the time of day. And what Tumi put out in their little press release about these fragrances, because when I say these fragrances, there are 5 different of these that follow in this line that have like a time zone stamp on it. And what they really equate to is the time of day that they think that they're sort of appropriate to or that they feel like. They say about it, life in rhythm, connected and attuned to the precision of Greenwich Mean Time. And there is one for midnight called Atlas, one for 8 a.m. called Awaken, one for noon, which is Continuum, one for 8 p.m., which is Unwind, and then one that is blank, like the clock is flashing with no time on it, called Kinetic. So these fragrances relate to a sort of a mood at whatever that time of day is supposed to be for someone who basically is on an 8 to 5 schedule. So continuum would be basically like you're in the middle of your day, a continuum, and you're in perpetual motion.
Oh, okay, but it's kind of odd because it's a cooler weather fragrance, and then when I think about 12 o'clock, that's when the sun is beating on you.
Well, in hot climate it would be, but I guess maybe they're thinking of like indoors. They sort of are marketing this towards people in their maybe 20s and 30s that are in the fast-paced work world.
Oh,
And then they unwind later at night or something, and so they need a different scent for each time of the day.
one thing I like about this bottle is the cap. It's got this kind of fun cap that you twist and then it opens like that and then you put it back and
Yeah, it was a little hard to figure out at first when we opened it up.
yeah, I think it's adult proof. What do you think?
At least at first, yes. I think a 3-year-old might be able to get into it pretty quickly, though.
Okay.
So this fragrance has top notes of olibanum, which is frankincense, basically, so kind of an incense sort of a smell, amber, green mandarin, mid notes of iris, tobacco, and rose, and then base notes suede, musk, and oud. So yeah, there's spicy, the frankincense and stuff. There's the sweet sort of a smell, the amber and tobacco, and iris, and then there's a suede and musk and oud, which gives you that sort of leather, woody sort of a smell that you were talking about. And they all come through really nicely. You can definitely sort of single out the suede leather sorts of notes. The iris comes through in a sort of a strong way. Well, I shouldn't say strong. You can definitely detect it, but it's not an overpowering note. It blends nicely into the amber and stuff, which sweetens it up a bit. You know, when people who ranked this fragrance and stuff as far as their likes on it and stuff, they said, most people said that it lasts them around 7 hours. I think a little bit less than that unless you spray sort of heavy, like around 8 or so sprays.
I think for one spray it's 3 hours.
Okay.
So you need to spray a little more than that
Yeah.
for even for like the fall weather, you want to at least spray 4.
I would think so, 4 to 6 for most occasions and stuff, unless you're worried that you're going to get into some sort of a situation where it's going to be too warm and it's going to choke people.
Yes.
But it's not too overpowering or sweet or cloying of a scent. It's more powdery, leathery.
Yeah. Leathery, more leathery for me than powdery.
Yeah, the iris gives it a sort of a powdery smell to it. Iris can have different ways that it comes across. Some people describe it as a sort of a lipstick or makeup smell. And then other people describe it as kind of sweet and flowery, maybe powdery and stuff. I get more with this one of a sort of a powdery smell than I do the lipstick or the really sweet smell.
When did this come out?
This one was released in 2021.
Wow,
I think
it's new.
the first of this series, I believe, came out in 2020. And then they released, I think, the most recent one, which I can't remember which one it was, in just the last few months or so. That may have been the Kinetic. And so it's all a fairly new line, so I doubt that there will necessarily be flankers on the specific ones in the series. There just may be a few more, because there's an 0800, a 1200, a 2000, and 00, and then, you know, no time showing, you know, on the clock. So there's a few little time blanks in there, like maybe 1600 or 0400 in the morning, which may be
Who's awake at that time?
I don't know, but maybe the 0400 is like the party till you fall over.
No, that's
time.
the bargain basement. That's after like the party has ended and no one has taken you home, and so you're part of the bargain basement sale.
You know, the last chance, the last chances type of one.
So yeah, that would be 4.
Right.
Okay.
The desperation scent or something.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it looks like that they could probably bring out a couple more in this line, and they're already pretty strong fragrances. They're EDPs or parfum strength. So I doubt that they're going to do lots of flankers off of each one of them, but there may be a couple more in the line that rolls out.
Okay, and if you guys enjoyed our video, please like and subscribe. If there's a fragrance you want us to talk about, leave a comment. Take care.
Bye.